Welcome to Leadership Icons, a platform dedicated to celebrating and sharing the stories of extraordinary leaders who are shaping the future of Pakistan. This series is brought to you by FranklinCovey Pakistan, whose mission is to enable greatness. At FranklinCovey, we believe in the transformative power of visionary leadership and its profound impact on individuals, organizations, and communities. Today, we are privileged to feature Mr. Muhammad Atif Hanif, the Chief Executive Officer of Baraka Bank Pakistan Ltd. With over 24 years of banking experience, including 17 years in Islamic banking, Mr. Hanif has a proven track record in retail and corporate banking at institutions such as the Bank of Khyber, HBL, Dubai Islamic Bank, and Bank Al Falah. As CEO of Baraka Bank, Mr. Hanif has implemented strategic initiatives that have accelerated the bank's growth. Previously, as the Group of Islamic Banking at the Bank of Khyber, he led a major turnaround, driving profitability through innovative strategies and strong team leadership. Mr. Hanif's leadership extends beyond banking. He has served on various boards, contributed to provincial policy making, and driven socio-economic development through his numerous publications. His work has influenced key areas such as home remittance policy and socio-economic cooperation with China. He is also a strong advocate of environmental sustainability and specialized education. Join us as we learn from insights and experiences of Mr. Muhammad Atif Hanif, a leader who exemplifies excellence and innovation in the banking industry. Mr. Atif Hanif, a true icon of leadership. Thank you for giving us this time today.
Thank you, Maryam. You gave a very, I think, a strong introduction. I'm just, any other banker who has gone through a journey and now given an assignment which is about the bank, unlike the areas and the departments and the segments that I have been managing in the past. Baraka Bank, as you know, has been in Pakistan for 30 years. It's one of the oldest Islamic banks in the country. The Islamic banks have seen a very rapid growth in Pakistan overall as an industry. But the biggest challenge, you said, was that Baraka Bank has lagged behind in that race. So when I joined, the challenge or the real goal was to lift the bank and bring it at par with the progress and the pace with which the other banks are growing in Pakistan, especially the Islamic banks. So the challenge was how to lift the bank and put it on track on a fast-paced growth, for which within 6 weeks of my joining, I gave a presentation to my board and to our group CEO in Bahrain, and they liked the strategy. We called it the beginning of the turnaround, starting 2023, followed by the real turnaround, 24 and onwards. Nice. And it was a multifaceted strategy, but it had certain core fundamentals to follow. For instance, all banks in Pakistan, their growth and success primarily lies in the quality of retail banking.
Absolutely.
And by retail banking, it actually means the liability side, the deposit side. The size and the quality of deposit both matters. In Pakistan, all banks who have done well in profitability, their bottom line has been the quality of low-cost deposit. You look at the banks, and the banks that have done well, 70 to 80% of their deposits are low cost. This is a fact, and that is how the banks have strengthened their position in Pakistan, and then they can afford to expand, they can afford to spend on digital, they can afford to invest on technology and trainings and the quality of their infrastructure and the quality of resources and their remuneration and their HR reforms and all that. So retail banking was the weak link in Baraka Bank. So my focus all of a sudden was one point agenda to strengthen the retail side, the deposit side. And any strategy, for any strategy to be successful, it's very important that it should be simple.
Simple.
Especially when you are an outsider who have joined the team. If it has 10 areas to cover, then it is too complex, too complicated, and it will lose focus. So the strategy, especially if it is a strategy of a nature of a turnaround, um, the message should be very simple, and it should be one or maximum 2 point agendas
Absolutely.
for the first year or two. And once things have started moving and everyone has realized the pace and the expectations and the overall goal of the organization, which way it is now proceeding, then you can add things to it. So the first year, our strategy was primarily based on low-cost deposit, and we did quite well that year. And we obviously had challenged from the perspective that our shareholders who has invested $90 million in Pakistan. Over the period, they have lost 80% of that value due to exchange rate, due to devaluation of Pak rupees, and they never got any dividend. So that was a bigger challenge because they have been asked again and again to inject more capital to meet the regulatory requirements. So when I joined in one of my strategic discussions, I simply said that we will, inshallah, never ask for any equity support from our shareholders again, and we will like to give out the dividend as soon as possible. So we are eyeing at, inshallah, giving out dividend in 2024.
Inshallah.
Allah has been very kind so far, and I'm very confident that we should be able to achieve that milestone.
Fantastic. So just hearing that, I mean, I can imagine there must have been a lot of sleepless nights, especially when you have to convince a board. And what about the impact on the people of Al Baraka Bank? One impact is one side is the business side, and how did you actually manage the employees' sentiments and their emotions? I mean, how, if we just look at the human element, how did that happen, and if there were any challenges there, if you could just shed some light on that.
I think as far as team management is concerned, uh, certain things should come naturally instead of, strategizing. So I, as a human, uh, am I'm very good in maybe I'm saying myself, but I naturally connect with the people at all levels. So when I say at all levels, that is very important. So you can connect, you can expect your leaders to lead the bank and their segments, but then uh, the value system has to also sink in. The value, I mean, that for me, the care of my junior most staff is as significant and important as it is the C-suite.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So when I joined, the first thing we did before I shared my strategy with my teams in my town halls. This was a month and a half after my joining, and as soon as I gave out the presented my strategy to the board, and they approved it, and the ABG approved it. ABG is our Al Banking Group Global. Um, I held town halls across the country, and in the 4 town halls, before I shared my strategy, I shared with them the contents of the HR reforms that were about to be launched.
So there was transparency in communication.
Yes, and
Fantastic.
I said, there are two types of management styles. One style is that you join an organization, give them goals, targets, and say that if you achieve this, I'll do this. for you in terms of your remuneration, in terms of your packages and benefits and all that. The second is that you trust your people, you show confidence in them, and you first give out the benefits and the remunerations and you launch the HR reforms and trust them that in return, whatever goals and targets and whatever expectations you will set for them, they will go beyond and their usual, business efforts and go out of the way and achieve it.
To meet your expectations.
Yeah, and go even beyond that. So
Fantastic.
what we did, first we launched the HR reforms. And in HR reforms, we did certain basic things which were lacking. For example, our allowances were not aligned. They were not updated for last few years. So we updated the fuel allowance as per the prices of the fuel, current fuel, and the car allowances for the prices of the current prices of the cars and so on. But then we did certain uh, strong things, which meant a lot for me, but they had a very strong impact as well. For example, in most of the institutions, there's a benefit for the spouse and children of healthcare.
Nice.
Most institutions offer that as part of their salary package. But I personally fail to contemplate that you succeed as a white collar professional and you are unable to afford the same benefit for your parents which you can afford for your spouse and children. I cannot, something I could never get comfortable with. So when I joined Baraka and we started planning HR reforms, the first reform that we did was that all parents of all staff should get the same health benefits as the spouse and children. So this was launched as part of our HR reforms in the first quarter when I joined, apart from all the other benefits. And it had a very, very positive impact on the spirit and the morale of the staff, and everyone realized that this is serious. This is not just a slogan of turnaround or transition or transformation or of the bank. There is some serious effort and meaning to what is being said. So the strategy that I shared, they all went along with it, and we, alhamdulillah, are on track, and it is heading in the right direction. So the answer to your question is the HR reforms was the first thing that we offered.
To manage their sentiments.
And manage their sentiments, morale, spirit, and
Fantastic.
in order to put them on the one page that everyone should be just focused on the growth and trajectory that we have set for ourselves.
Right. So one of the core values of a great leader, an extraordinary leader, is to extend trust first. And by doing this, especially at a time in Pakistan when everybody else was kind of cutting down on budget because it was not the best economical situation in the country, but you giving this out was gaining trust, and I think this is what brought in what helped you to manage the sentiments throughout. Let's talk. I would like you to talk us through your biggest change that has happened in terms of a paradigm shift, a shift in your mindset, where a certain incident or something that you've experienced as a leader in your journey that brought in a change in the way you looked at things and a change in your paradigm.
And by this question, you mean not necessarily in my tenure in Baraka Bank?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Well, just two things clubbed together in the same time frame. I performed Hajj in 2005, and during my Hajj, I was with a business group. It was a private group of Hajj, in which mostly there were businessmen from all over Pakistan, and mostly the businessmen were very religious, and everyone had uh, apprehension about sood.
Yes.
And at that time, I was conventional banker. Uh, and the room where we were living, there were one floor for females and another floor for males. So, in my room, there were 5 males, and the females of the same, men were on a different floor in the same room. So there were food served every day, but everyone brought something from the market to share.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed after a few days that whatever I was bringing was not being touched.
Oh.
So I thought maybe I'm new to them and they knew each other from before. So I started offering later, that please have this. And they were still not eating. So when I tried to contemplate what's the issue, why are they being so formal maybe with me, or so then there were 3 or 4 muftis in that group as well who would speak every day at 11 o'clock. In Makkah, they will narrate stories of Makkah. In Medina, they will narrate stories of Medina. But their favorite subject was Sood. In one way or another, they were educating the business clients that they had in their tour about how bad the Sood is. So one day, one of my roommates, he took me to a mufti sahab. And he introduced me that ये आतिफ साहब हैं, ये बहुत अच्छे आदमी हैं, लेकिन ये बैंक में काम करते हैं.
लेकिन
तो जब when he introduced me like this, instead of looking at Mufti साहब, I started looking at him. लेकिन ये बैंक में काम करते हैं. तो then Mufti साहब said to me that आतिफ साहब, ये सूद का काम आपको छोड़ना पड़ेगा. ये ठीक नहीं है. आप बड़े नेक आदमी हैं, वे बता रहे हैं आपको, लेकिन but तो मैंने कहा जी मुझे तो और कुछ आता नहीं. I've studied from an American university, और मुझे तो फाइनेंस मैंने पढ़ा हुआ है, और दिस इज माय फील्ड. तो उन्होंने कहा यू डोंट हैव टू लीव दिस जॉब. आप सिर्फ यहाँ मक्का में नियत कर लें कि जब आपको ऑप्शन मिलेगा आपकी मर्जी का कोई और, तो आप ये छोड़ देंगे. दैट्स सिंपल. ये तो कोई इतनी बड़ी बात नहीं. सो फॉलोड बाय हज, एंड इट वाज अरफात, एंड मैं अरफात में बाकी दुआएं भूल गया. बस इतना, वो 40 दिन इतनी बातें हुई सूद की, मैं यही दुआ करता रहा ऐसे मेरी जान छूट जाए किसी दिन. तो आई केम बैक एंड आई गॉट ऑफर्स फ्रॉम 2 इस्लामिक बैंक्स all of a sudden, and I joined one, and that's where the Islamic banking started.
And you never looked back
I
then.
never looked back. But what has really changed me spiritually was again the same Hajj, and it was in Medina. And my wife has a very strong recitation speed. So she will go to Haram in Medina and come back. After the prayer, we'll meet for dinner or lunch, and she'll say, I've read two siparas, and I've read 3 siparas. My speed is a bit slow. So I started reading a book I bought from Medina. It was called The History of Medina. So one day, sitting in Masjid Nabawi, I was reading this book, and the way it was narrated is that when Prophet migrated to Medina and they built the Masjid Nabawi, after a few days, after a prayer, one of the companions of Prophet mentioned that Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that Medina is growing and people could not get informed about the start of the prayer. And by the time most of the people join, half the prayer is done or they miss prayer.
Yeah.
So please allow us to use a bell to call for the prayer. So the Prophet said, let us discuss this after a prayer tomorrow. So everyone heard that. And now next day everyone assembles, sits with the Prophet to discuss this subject. And the subject starts. That person mentions that I think, okay, that person mentions that he saw a dream last night in which there was a saint walking outside his house, and he had bells clinging
Tied to him,
tied to
yeah.
his clothes.
Mm.
And he asked that gentleman
Mm-hmm.
that, please give me these bells. We may be needing it tomorrow because there may be a decision to use the bell for the prayers.
Right.
So, and that saint in reply said, don't use the bell. This I'm reading. Don't use the bell. Call following phrases. And now I start reading the phrases. After there's Arabic and there's this book was in English.
In English,
There
yeah.
was Arabic
Translation
and then
in English.
translation in English.
Mm-hmm.
After third line, I realized that it was azan. And while I read the rest of the azan, the Asr azan was called in Masjid Nabawi, and that's where I realized that what is azan? We've been hearing this all our lives, and we don't know what was the purpose. It touched me so much because there is hardly a moment on this planet when this azan is not being called.
So, Atif Saab, tell me a little bit about the non-traditional initiatives that you might have taken that would have brought an impact, not just to the bank, but its employees and, of course, the community at large.
You know, when you are aiming at fast track growth, and you think that you need to achieve your, in case like Alberta, when you're lagging behind, you have to find and you have to explore out of the box ideas based on the opportunities your organization inherently is offering, but nobody has used it.
Yeah.
So what we did is, since we are in 13 countries, and I thought that we have never benefited through mutual collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So it was part of my initial strategy that we should collaborate for the purpose of our business growth and also to benefit country. So what I did, I made a study that what's the volume of trade between Pakistan and these 13 countries,
Mm-hmm.
rest of 12 countries. So, and then what is the percentage share of Baraka Bank Pakistan in that trade?
Mm-hmm.
So the share of Baraka Bank Pakistan in that trade was all in decimals, less than 1%. So that was a low-hanging fruit for us to focus on. But then when we started thinking how to go about and do it,
Mm-hmm.
it ended up into something very beautiful. Uh, we started with South Africa, and we noticed, after doing our survey, that there are 12 sectors from which Pakistan is exporting to South Africa. We chose the leading exporters from these sectors, and then we added 8 more sectors which were forte of Pakistan, but they were not, South Africans were not importing from Pakistan. For example, sports school. They are very strong in football, but they
Yes.
were importing football from somewhere else, and which could be even Pakistani football going from somewhere else. I don't know where they were importing. Surgical goods, Himalayan salt, the pink salt.
Of
Pakistan
course.
is the only source, and I don't know where they are getting from. And handmade carpets and leather and so on and so forth, and the Wazirabad cutlery. So we added 8 sectors. So in total, 60 leading exporters from Pakistan. And our counterparts in South Africa chose 40 leading importers of those products in South Africa. So we exchanged their profiles and their data. And then from here in Karachi, we developed a portal, a closed-end portal, where we uploaded all this information country-wide and sector-wise. Then we held a webinar in which we connected all 40 from South Africa and 60 from Pakistan virtually. We invited the central bank. They held their webinar event from Durban, Cape Town, and Johannesburg. We invited our guests in Karachi, here in Marriott, and rest of Pakistan were connected virtually. We invited their High Commissioner from Islamabad. They invited our High Commissioner, Dr. Ishrat Saab was kind enough to chair the webinar. State Bank senior executives also participated. We connected them. We offered them, reciprocal services if they are visiting, and they got connected and they got to see each other, and they spoke about their products and all that. And then the portal was launched for the B2B connectivity.
Fantastic.
It went so well.
All right, sir. So now we're going to would like to know you more as an individual, who the man behind this leadership role that you have. So we're going to do a rapid fire round, and you are going to choose one option, okay, out of the two that I give you. The one that you lean more towards, and in terms of priority. So you ready, sir? Okay. All right. Growth or profits?
The stage where we are, profits,
Okay. Integrity or capability?
integrity.
Sales or customer trust?
Customers trust, obviously, because then it leads to sales.
Okay. Training or on-job experience? I'm putting you on the spot. Adasam.
At the moment, I'm just giving an answer as as a top priority right now in Baraka Bank is training.
Okay. Street smart or book smart?
Well, you're extreme.
I see that smile coming up. Wow, you do smile,
the
sir.
option-
Okay, great. Now tell me.
The options are, quite
Rapid.
quite extreme. Well, street smart generally has better survival rate, but obviously with integrity and all the other things I've mentioned, you can't beat.
You're playing it safe, sir. All right. Creativity or discipline?
Well, you cannot be a professional without discipline.
Okay.
Simple as this.
Well, let me get you off the hook a bit.
Simple as
It
this.
doesn't mean that if you're creative, you're not
no,
disciplined,
no,
but
I think the options are not correct.
they're not fair.
Yeah.
Hata do jeen options ko.
I think the options are not doing justice to the, I think, the audience of this interview as well. Because discipline and creativity is just like asking Wasim Akram that would you like to be a disciplined bowler or creative bowler? So Wasim Akram was all about creativity, but he was never in discipline, So, or maybe
He had somebody to keep him in check initially.
Yeah, so
till he became disciplined.
nobody can be successful as a professional if they're not disciplined. But creativity will shine you out among the leaders more than anybody else. So creativity, there is no value to creativity. Value for me, out of the box, creative innovation is the front runner of my strategy all the time. But discipline is not a good option to go with. You can say business as usual or creativity, then that will be a better better option.
We'll keep that in mind. But we liked talent or wisdom.
Well, wisdom is very important. Wisdom is very important because talent is more of. I think there are many people who are talented, and but wisdom is something that will take you a long way. But talent, I think, comes more frequently, is more common than the wisdom. So I cannot imagine a profession without talent, but I can imagine a professional without wisdom. So a professional who's normally talented is somebody who rises to the top, but if he lacks wisdom, then there's only so much that he can go far. So,
Fantastic.
so
This
talent.
is
Somebody
great
who,
advice for
yeah,
our
somebody who
viewers.
has grown over 20, 30 years in his career, it goes without saying that they are talented in their own field. But if they don't have the wisdom, it will not go far.
Won't go far. And the last one, risk or safety?
Okay.
We need to kind of review these guys. We don't want to put them
Okay.
on the spot.
नहीं, देखें,
I love your answers.
a banker has to be conservative because you are always playing with with people's money. So it's the people's money that you are managing. It's the shareholders' interest that you are safeguarding. It is the regulations and the laws that you have to ensure that your organization is following. So if the option is between the risk management or the other one was?
Taking risk or being safe? Risk
Yeah,
averse or
so it
risk?
has to be safe. It has to be safe. For a banker, it has to be always safe.
That's part of the DNA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I think you've done that very well. The rapid fire round. अच्छा मुझे बताएं कि बहुत से लोग समझते हैं कि लीडर बनना आसान काम होता है या they see the end result, they see a leader sitting at a certain, seat and they're, they've achieved all these great things. But it goes without saying that there are a lot of sacrifices. There's a journey that a person has, lived through. Could you share some of the sacrifices or any one particular sacrifice that you might have made to be where you are here today? And if there's any role model or anyone who has kind of aspired you to, go on this journey, to take this
There are
path?
two different questions.
Yes, they are.
First of all, I will not say sacrifice, but people say sacrifice. And that was when I was studying in US, and I'm the only son of my parents. So it was my commitment with my parents that I will come back. So after finishing my schooling, all my contemporaries and friends, they stayed back.
Right.
And I moved back.
Okay.
My parents, I belong to Peshawar. So my parents were living in Peshawar. My father uh, was a banker. So, but he always chose to stay in Peshawar, which was the hometown. So for me, the option was either to remain in LA, and if I have to move back to Pakistan, then it has to be Peshawar. So I left my whatever opportunities were there for all the others who pursued it, and some of them, I have done really well in the States. And I don't call that sacrifice. I don't regret for a day. And I'm not saying it now. When even I was a junior banker and my friends in US were doing very well, even then I was saying I don't regret, because as long as uh, for me, one of the important principles, the goals in life, is that how your parents are perceiving you. So no matter how successful you have been, but if your parents are not satisfied or not happy with you, then it becomes meaningless, in my opinion. So moving back to from US to a smallest town in Pakistan, one of the smallest towns, was not a regret, and I don't even think it's a sacrifice, because and I feel that whatever I have achieved in my life, the single most important factor was my parents' prayers. A lot of people say hard work. I say the hardest working people in bank are the cashiers. They
They have
put
a tough
they
job.
put in maximum hours. They are at high risk of mistakes, because their one mistake can cause their job and financial trouble for
Loss.
the bank, loss to the bank, and to them also if they get penalized. Uh, so it's not the hard. Everyone is supposed to be hardworking. Everyone is supposed to be talented. But if you have prayers of your parents behind you, it will take you a long way.
So, Atif Saab, can you tell us a little bit about your life other than banking?
Uh,
Your
well,
interests?
I've been into sports all my life, and I still follow a very active lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I regularly swim or run, so that is my alternate. Ideally 2 days a week I swim and 2 days a week I run. Uh, but apart from this physical, which is very important for everyone to stay healthy,
Absolutely.
especially once they are past 40s and 50s, the health is a very important driver of your overall life goals, and your how you carry yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Your health is very, very important. Especially in Pakistan, where diseases take over, most of the people start taking over after 50. Good health is very important, and that can be achieved at any age. Secondly, I have interest in socio-economic development of Pakistan, which I express through my publications. And my favorite subjects have been the home remittances of
Okay.
Pakistan, workers' home remittances,
Mm-hmm.
how they should be channelized towards the banking channel from the informal Holi channel. And Alhamdulillah, one of my articles of 2008 had a major policy impact in the country. Um, PRI, Pakistan Remittance Initiative, was based on one of my articles of 2008. And Alhamdulillah, Pakistan home remittances have grown from $6.5 billion per year through banking channel in 2008 to 30 and $31 billion now per year. And I still feel that there's a gap of $25 billion which is still coming from Hundi. And if it, and there are very good steps that government is taking, and I keep on sharing my views. And if these steps are hopefully successful, uh, our current account deficit will not be something that we'll be facing for years to come. And
Absolutely.
the kind of stress that the country has seen over the last couple of years, we were just after a billion or $2 billion, for which we have to with the international donors and international organizations and IMF, uh, Pakistan has a lot more potential on its own. So this home remittance is my favorite subject. My second subject of very on which I worked a lot was socio-economic cooperation with China. And the basic tool that I have written a lot about is the importance of learning Chinese language for Pakistani youth, which is essential for people-to-people contact and the benefit of Pakistan. Because there's a second largest economy in the world next door to us, and we always had very good relations with them, and our people never benefited from that geopolitical situation. There has been very good political and diplomatic relations with China, but people to people, how many people travel on holidays to China? And since I started writing this in mid 2000s, uh, a lot has changed.
It has.
There have been Confucius Institutes established, and I was part of I was one of the founding members of Pakistan China Institute. Confucius Institute later on started establishing campuses in Pakistan, and there have been schools and colleges and universities started teaching Chinese. So, and the third subject, which is a lot, which is of very high interest for me, is the horticulture. And I've been a promoter of olive plantation in Pakistan since 2002.
Fantastic.
And Alhamdulillah, from a very novel idea to
Mm.
now olive oil being produced,
Olive
and
oil.
this 22 years journey, we thought that this is a great idea. It will eventually happen, but it may not happen in our lifetime. But fortunately, this materialized quite quickly, and Pakistan has the potential to become the largest olive oil producer in the world, beating Spain. So we are on its way, and our official souvenir of Baraka Bank is now the first extra virgin olive oil of Pakistan, which I will be presenting to you, like most of our guests and customers, after this interview.
Thank you. I would like you to give us your few last words that would help our next generation, the younger leaders of Pakistan to enlighten them a bit and or give them one inspiring piece of advice that would help them?
What I will say is that to my youth uh, of the country is that Pakistan is an immensely blessed country. Uh, it is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Uh, it has the most unique landscape. It has 1,000 kilometers of coastal area on one hand, and within 2,000 kilometer length, it has the second highest mountain in the world. It's the most steep landscape, and between the two ends, it has everything. It has mm, uh, what they call above tree line places like Skardu and Dosai Plains and Fairy Meadows. It has the most beautiful valleys like Upper Swat and Chitral and
Hunza and
Hunza and Nathegari, and it has the most fertile land on this earth, like the Punjab. And then it has the Sindh Valley, and it has the desert, and it has the coast, the beautiful coast. I just drove to Ormara a few months ago, and the beaches that I saw, I mean, they are comparable to any beach in the world. Any beach in the world, unexplored. There's not a single resort on the 1,000 kilometer coastal area. So Pakistan has so much to offer, and youth can really benefit. They can use the opportunities this country is offering. I have met, in my career, I've had clients who had very humble beginning when we were very young in our professional career. They worked hard and they are multi-billionaires. They started with a scratch, with a small account in my career with me, and they are now multi-billionaire. And anybody who says that the dreams can come true only in the Western world, and if you move out of Pakistan, no. I've seen people perform and do really well in this country. You just need to focus and choose your career or your entrepreneurship idea or your business or whatever, and then keep yourself steadfast and focused, and keep on innovating, keep on progressing in your ideas and the way you are pursuing your dreams, and this country will give you everything.
With this, we do come to a close. These golden nuggets of advice will certainly benefit our viewers. And I would like to thank Mr. Muhammad Atif Hanif for giving us such amazing, insightful, aspiring, and inspiring anecdotes. Thank you so much, Atif Sahab. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. And with this, I, Maryam Wazirzada, would like to sign off from Leadership Icons by FranklinCovey Pakistan. Thank you.